and when. Okay, well, we're going to talk about how you know and which one to do. So I'm just going to make a 4 square here, kind of similar to what you have on your paper. Factoring, square roots, complete the square, and quadratic formula. And then you've got 4 equations across the top, and it says choose one and only use each one time. So I'm going to start with equation A, and I'm going to go through. Now, when you're deciding which method to use, my advice would be to first check, can you solve it with square roots? Now, in order to solve with square roots, I need to only have the variable one time. I have to be able to SAD map my way out. So, is x in there only once? Well, look at that very first equation. X squared minus 9x plus 21 equals 0. Is x in there only once? No, so I can't use square roots. The second one I would check is factoring. Can you factor that? I hear yes, and I see some no's. Can you think of anything that multiplies to 21 but adds to negative 9? No, so factoring's out. The next thing I'm going to look at is complete the square, but whenever I'm deciding, now, those last two, you can do anything with those last two. But here's what I'm going to look at whenever I'm deciding, should I complete the square or should I quadratic formula? If I'm completing the square, I'm going to look for 2 things. Does it have an A? That's other than 1, right? An A in front, a leading coefficient. Because remember, if I complete the square, I have to divide everything by that leading coefficient, okay? So does it have an A, and is the middle term, so is B, an even number? Because remember, whenever I complete the square, I have to take the middle and cut it in half. So if it's not even, it's going to be hard to complete the square. So if I look at this one, do you think this is a good one to complete the square or not? I'm going to say no too. Why? What's making you think we shouldn't complete the square? There's a 1. Okay, so, well, I want it to have a 1. I want it to be 1, but that 9 is odd, right? So if I have to do 9 over 2 and then square it, it's going to get kind of nasty. So I'm going to, for now, this will be my last resort, I'm going to stick, I'm going to stick x squared minus 9x plus 21 equals 0 under the quadratic formula for now. First, I'm going to put them all where I think they go, and then I'll solve them that way. So let's look at equation number 2. Yep. Okay, so let me see how I can word this. Let me write it a different way, Regal. A should be 1. How about that? A should be 1 and B should be even. I'm sorry, that might have been a bit confusing. That's my bad. Thank you guys for being so understanding. Equation B looks like this. So let's go through our options here and start again with square roots. Always start with square roots. It's the easiest solve that you have if you can solve it that way. Can I solve that with square roots? Why? There's just one x there, right? It's just written one time. So I'm going to throw this one in this category for right now. Let's look at the next equation. 3x squared minus 22x plus 7 equals 0. Could I solve it with square roots? No, there's 2 x's in there. Can I factor it? Ooh, how do you know? 3 times 7 is 21. Can I find 2 things that multiply to 21 but add to 22? Yes. So I'm going to throw that under factor. let's hope that this very last equation is going to set us up for completing the square. I cannot do square roots because there's more than one x. I can't factor because nothing multiplies to negative 15 but adds to 6. Is it a good candidate for completing the square? Yeah, a is 1 and the middle number is even. So I'm going to put that here. Is this where you guys put everything? Is it? Good. Yeah. All right. Do you have any questions about solving any of those? Do the square root one? Sure. That way, the quadratic formula one. Okay. Yes, I'll have to work at the show. I'll just do each one of them real quick because it won't take long. Here I would subtract 144, so I'd have negative 2x squared equals negative 144. Divide by negative 2. X squared equals 72. When I do the square root of 72, I'm going to have to split that up. So I get, don't forget that plus or minus, right? So plus or minus square root of 6 times the square root of 2. Yeah. Because I messed up. Thank you. It shouldn't be. Thank you. And then the factoring. What two things multiply to 21x squared but add to negative 22x? That's exactly right. So as I put that in my equation, I have 3x squared minus 21x minus 1x plus 7 equals 0. I'm running out of room here. I can take a 3x out. It leaves me with x minus 7. I have to keep that middle sign. There's a 1 there. It leaves me with x minus 7. So I have x minus 7 times 3x minus 1. And if both of those go to 0, x minus 7 equals 0, 3x minus 1 equals 0, I have x equals 7. And I'm just going to skip a step there because I'm out of room, 1/3. Down to completing the square. Is that a good C or a bad C? It's bad. I'm going to move it, but I'm going to leave a place to put the good one. What's the good C? That's exactly right. 9/2 of 6 squared would be 9. So I have x plus 3 squared equals 24. Square root. Again, with that 24, I need to break it up. 24 breaks apart 4 and 6. So I have x plus 3 equals, don't forget your plus or minus, 2 root 6. Can I combine, when I move that 3 over, can I combine it with that 2? Why? That's right. If it's got a square root hook to it, it's not, you can't combine it. It doesn't sit by itself, so I leave it written just like that. Last but not least, even if you got your methods mixed up on which one you used, did you still come up with the right solutions? Good. Because remember on that first page, it didn't matter the method. We got the same answer for each and every one. All right, here, A is 1. What's B? That's right. C is 20. Opposite B, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2. So I have 9 plus or minus the square root of 81 minus 84. Ooh, I've got some imaginary answers here. 9 plus or minus the square root of negative 3. So I take that I out there and leave it. Can't break 3 down any further, so I leave it. Yes or no? You good? Yes. Any questions on your homework 1 through 12? Are you feeling pretty good about this? I'll have you a separate review for tomorrow, but I think for today, we will just finish out the pack. It's not that much. So there are 6, and then a 4 one, and then, are they the same? Oh no, they're not. And then 6, and then 4. So you'll have, it's like 4 more problems than what you had last night. Y'all good? We're just going to finish the packet, yeah. Just finish it. Tomorrow, the review that I have you will look a little more like what your test will look like. And it'll kind of pull everything together. We will do it within our groups together.